Televisa presenta.
Hey, thank you everyone for being here in another episode of Influencers Through the History. Today we have a very special guest. I'd like to thank the great Mr. Shakespeare for coming here today.
No, it is my pleasure. It's my pleasure to be here.
Well, you need no extra presentation. I mean, you're the writer of titles like Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, inventor of tons of expressions and words, some even used nowadays. You revolutionized the language. You are the Renaissance man, the Cervantes for the English speaker.
Oh, please stop. No. Thank you so much, my dear.
All right. I'd like to begin asking you some questions. Are you ready?
Yeah, of course.
When and where you born? Where were you born, Mr. Shakespeare?
For heaven's sake, call me Will. I was born in Stratford, England, by the River Avon, on April 23rd, 1564.
Oh, and there, what kind of education did you receive? What can you tell us about your family?
Well, I would rather not go into personal matters, but I will say I was only able to attend the Stratford Grammar School, but there I learned such things as Latin and Greek.
Oh, wow. But now, will many people suspect that you are not the author of many of your famous plays? They believe perhaps Sir Francis Bacon is the author. Do they have just cause to do so?
Absolutely not. More for you. Some people believe that merely because I had a simple upbringing and a lesser education, that I'm not the author. They also try to attribute my work to Christopher Marlowe. But I assure you, I am the true author. I can only say that it is jealousy that drives these men to take away my credit for the work I've done.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not intend to offend you, Will. But let's move into another topic, okay? It is well known that your writings greatly influenced the entire English language. How happened this? Was there a process? Tell me.
Well, there was really chaotic times back then. In spite of the English development we have nowadays, this is still a serious problem, you know. It's a logical spelling, right?
Yeah, sure.
Well, in the Renaissance, this problem was even worse. It was neither phonetic nor fixed. One single author might spell the same word in 7 or 8 different ways. Furthermore, the printers varied the spelling as well, adding or subtracting words as wished. It did not exist a thing such as a standard spelling. There was neither here nor there.
Wow, but how was it possible? The same word with different pronunciations? What a mess. Something chaotic, isn't it? Please give us some examples of this phenomenon.
Sure. This situation can clearly be observed in the word as girl. Girl. The same word girl was pronounced girl in the new American colonies, girl in London, ghoul in Ireland, and gale in Scotland. It was a mess. Uh, of course, the grammar and rules of English were not standardized. No dictionaries existed yet. However, once my plays became popular, the standardization was a piece of cake. Great variety of my words and phrases became embedded by the English language. You know?
Oh, so we can say that you helped creating an accepted usage of the language. Wonderful. I cannot believe it. How was it? I have here that you invented around 2,000 words. 2,000 words written. Really? Is it this is true? How did you do it?
Of course it is. I have a spotless reputation. Words like critical, catastrophe, emphasize, modest, obscene, all of them come from my authorship. I used to play with language. Everyone did it during Renaissance. Creating words was my passion. Changing nouns into verbs, changing verbs into adjectives, connecting words never before used together, adding prefixes and suffixes. I was noticed.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think that your education in Greek and Latin languages influenced your writings and posteriorly the English language itself?
That is for sure. As I mentioned before, I used to play with the words. Borrowing words was also one of my strategies. Englishmen used to do so as well, mainly taking words from Latin and Greek, but also from French. When people did not know how to express a concept, when there was no term for an English thought, a word based on Latin, Greek, or French entered the language.
Oh yeah, of course. Like words, for example, the synonyms like small, petite, and little. Am I correct? For example, the word small, which comes from Germanic languages, little, which comes from Proto-Germanic languages, and petite, which comes from French, right? And your work surely marked a whole before and after in the history of English.
Yeah, well, most of the credit goes for the citizens, since they are the ones who made all this possible. There was, there were some attempts for creating a standard version of English language. However, being not popular, they were not accepted. On the contrary, when the plays and rights became popular, they turned out to be some kind of guide for the rest of authors, you know. Um, eh, in which the spelling became fixed according to the rules of custom. So writers used the spelling that other writers had used before, as since my plays and writings were very famous and popular, they take them as a guide. So people started accepting my phrases, my words as official, right?
Oh yeah, we can say that you were an influence for them, for the people. Pretty interesting, Will. But on another subject, it is said that you were very close to Elizabeth I, the daughter of the Tudor King Henry VIII, who loved drama, she loved theater, and she also was your mentor during your youth. There are rumors that you both might have a love affair. Care to comment?
Oh, for goodness sake, no. As I said before, I do not wish to discuss my personal life. I would prefer to talk about my work. What you most, or I'll vanish into the thin air.
Oh, wow. I'm impressed with your lexicon. I'm impressed with your lexicon, Will. I've heard you through all this interview expressing yourself in such interesting ways. Most of the phrases you've said are quite clear, but taking advantage of the situation, I would like to ask you of the meanings of for some expressions, such as own flesh and blood, or wear your heart on the sleeves. And what does these expressions mean? Are these expressions of your authorship?
They are indeed mine. The first one, on flesh and blood, I still can recall I wrote that one in Hamlet. It is mainly used for emphasizing that one certain person belongs to your family, to your people. On the other hand, the where you had on your sleeve expression comes to mean exposing our true emotion. As this one, there are plenty of them that spread through the world and the English itself, you know?
Oh yeah, this is amusing. I have here that expressions like all of a sudden, a heart of gold, and come what come may are all from your authorship. What wonderful words shared by the famous Mr. William Shakespeare. Know that you were actually a true influencer of the history. But I'm afraid we're running out of time, but I will again like to thank you for this time, for this interview.
Well, it was nice to meet you, Leslie. It was a pleasure to come here today and talk about my work and the English.
Oh yeah, thanks for watching us. See you next week when we will have a new special guest. Did I say guest? No, guest. Yeah. And see you on Saturday.